BGK 24/7 online Christian TV network. Making what was once impossible, possible.
Well, hi. Thank you for coming into the studios today. We are just so always thank you. Very thankful that you come in. We thank you that you join us on the Rural Channel Dinner Table Conversation with Apostle Dr. Sonia Stinson with our partners BGK. Listen, we want to say Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to you. We know that this is the season to be jolly. We know this is a great season. I love this season. The two seasons that I most love is November and December. I just love the season. It's not about the gifts for me. It's just about the joy that's in the air. And I am so happy that I'm able to spread some of that joy. Listen, I don't want to just talk because on last week we were just able and so blessed by Prophet Latoya Smith, who was in the studio. And I am so happy that she has joined us again this week in our studios with her new book, Single Christian Girls in the City. I know that during this time of the year that sometimes it's very tough for us who are single or once been married twice, 3 times, or however. And I wanted the show to be encouraging to those that are struggling with single and being celibate. And so she has written an awesome, a powerful book for single Christian girls in the city. And I want to just bring her and introduce her again. Latoya, thank you again and welcome back. We thank you for coming back into our studios.
Thank you so much for having me.
Mm-hmm. So we're just happy that you came back this week to talk to us and just finish up our conversation. That's why I called it Dinner Table Conversations with Apostle Stinson, because I just want us to be relaxed and really talk about some real issues, some real talk, and really what's going on, not a whole lot of fluff. And so we had a wonderful time talking on last week while we were in our studios live, talking about your new book, Single Christian Girls in the City. We had given a little history about your blog and how it had blew up. And I hope that many of you caught that show. It will re-air. So we just hope that you did catch that show because it's an awesome show. But we want to just get able to get through this 10-day journey because I know personally that this is a very tough time of year for those that are single, living celibate. And so today we want to just dive back into chapter 4 where we left off, Latoya. And we start off by saying that poverty isn't just the lack of finances. You can lack in many areas, spiritually and naturally. And we're in commitment number 4, day 4, the lack of joy, the lack of peace, the lack of mental health, the lack of emotions, the lack of physical health, and the lack of spiritual stamina. But before you even say that, you said the fact that you can remain committed to someone that you cannot physically see. You're talking about God right now. Let me start over again because that bit. The fact that you can remain committed to someone that you cannot physically see sets the tone to how you will handle yourself in marriage. So in chapter 4, we talk about commitment. And you use Psalms 37, 5 and 6. Give God the right to direct your life. Let's talk about commitment. Are we talking about commitment to an individual or commitment to God?
Okay. So during this single season, it is definitely about being committed to God. This is the time He reveals Himself to you in such a rare and unique and intimate way. He reveals Himself to you in a glorious way. His manifestation is is right there during that single season. Not to say it won't come in your married season, not to say any other time in your life, but it's something particular about your single season. He handles us so differently during our single season. And to be committed to him during this time, it does set the tone for your marriage. It really does, because this is practice. Because we're called his bride. So, yeah.
We are the bride of Christ. But you said something. Let's back up a little bit. You said he handles us so differently in this single season. And just give us a little tidbit about what do you mean that he handles us or he cares for us? You talk about that, how he protects us during the single season. But let's expound a little bit, because again, there's someone single out there. What do you mean he handles me? Can you give us a little bit tidbit of how you came to that revelation?
Sure. I'll use me for an example, of course. I'm in a season right now where I want to become more bold, but yet vulnerable at the same time. And he's handling me with that, because my vulnerability is also boldness. We treat it as separate things, but it's the same thing. And he's handling me in a certain way. He's carving himself boldly. Wow. So I can go forth that way. And so I can show myself as both. As Christians, we should be able to respond and know how to respond either with the lion or the lamb. Right. And I'm in that season where I'm learning to respond the lamb way or the lion way, and when to showcase the lamb response and the lion response.
That's really good. Wow. Just how you said that he handles up. The fact that you can, and I read that lust has the ability to rob you of being whole. Lust is an enemy to your discipleship and the promises of God, the promises of God over your life. Please remember, sexual sin brings poverty. It brings life. This is an adult show. I want to remind everyone, so we're not holding back. So sexual sin brings poverty. What is that? What does that mean, LaToya, Prophetess Smith? What does that mean?
Well, I'll use Solomon for example. Solomon, that's a perfect example of someone who fell to sexual sins and how he lost so much. He had all those concubines. He was sleeping with all type of women, the type of women that were not practicing the principles of God, the type of women who were not inside the will of God. So he started to lack. He started to lack joy. He started to lack peace. He started to actually lose himself within the borders of these women. And as a Christian woman, this happens to us all the time. I see it down my social media timeline where a woman has given her all to a man of false promises. Lust robs you of everything. It robs you. It robs you of that happiness. It even robs you of that assurance you once had with God, that boldness you once had. Because now that soul tie has been formed, you're going to respond all the time in a very, very carnal way. And a carnal mindset can't comprehend a spiritual realm. It can't.
Wow, that is so good. That is so good that, because lust will be, you'll be hearing all of the New Year's Eve resolution and the music and things like that. And so it is something that it will cause us to like in. And so something we have to avoid. Day 5. I literally underline every word in this chapter, okay, where you talked about rejection. I wish someone had told me that celibacy and rejection went hand in hand. Unfortunately, I was wrong, and instead of a godly relationship, I became well acquainted with rejection. This journey placed my feet on a path that required me to raise my standards and establish boundaries. You talk about the journey does not come. The journey does come with rejection that is rarely mentioned. Situations will arise where people will not understand, not respect your vows. I'm gonna stop reading there, because I don't think that we talk about the rejection we feel and the rejection that we get from others. when we have made and taken the vow of celibacy. And I think that's something that we don't want to talk about, because then we feel that it scares everybody off. So when this was a very lengthy chapter and you talked in depth about rejection. And so let's expound on how you felt, because you say in this book that you got rejection from people that you didn't think you would get rejection for, because you were trying to live a holy and godly life. Let's talk about that, how they felt. Oh, girl, you crazy. Okay. Okay. Isn't this long enough? You holding that he ain't gonna never, you're gonna never get nobody, because he want to try on them shoes. Let's talk about that.
Oh, that is definitely the sentence I get. You ain't gonna never get nobody. You're gonna be waiting forever. And it's like, no, I won't. That's not what God promised me differently. And this while I was going through this season, I would say this chapter during my celibacy journey, oh God, Apostle, it was like a ripping took place. I was always in pain. The rejection stung every time. And I'm like, but I'm doing it right, God. I'm doing something that you said to do. Why am I getting this much backlash? And I wasn't just getting it from just men. I was getting it from other women. You must be crazy to do something like this.
Know.
And it was more Christian women. I was like, well, we're on the same team. We're supposed to be doing this together.
Yes.
And the thing that I found out the most, the rejection. Many women start, but they stop because the rejection is too hard to bear. And this is when I said earlier how God handles us differently. During this season with the rejection part, he handles us. This is where he showcased, I'm your healer, I'm your deliverer, and I'm your protector. This is where he literally showcased these characteristics to me during this time for the celibacy journey, where, okay, it may hurt, but am I not your healer? But I protect. That rejection was my protection. Had I let him take you that far, and now in hindsight, I see why he protected me, because I see what these men have done to other women, and I'm like, oh God, thank you. It could have been me. It could have been me. You did. And he has delivered me from old situations that was residue in my heart, where the rejection was there. And so this season of rejection is really about plucking things so you can move forward on your path. So he can keep clearing the way for you to just be a trailblazer, because there's people behind you. Your purpose is never about you. It's about people coming behind you.
That's right. That's so right. And then you write that giving the best of myself to someone temporarily was never the intention of God. But then I want to go back up to around the first paragraph. You said that many times feeling what these rejection feelings would develop, and I'm paraphrasing, especially when men proclaim to be, and women, men of God. I foolishly assume that those that are single and following Christ are celibate. And that's why I want to stop. I want to just expound a little bit on that, because I think this season that we're entering in, we can be foolish and we can be fooled, that because they were pastor, reverend, minister, apostle, prophet, bishop, chief bishop, every kind of bishop, that they are celibate, okay? And they respect who you are. And we as single women, we have to be very careful. What advice would you give? Because a lot of times we're drawn by titles. Let's face it, women, we're drawn by titles, and we're drawn by positions, and we're drawn to say, oh, he's got to be a good man because he's carrying minister behind his name, or he's carrying apostle or bishop behind his name. Not necessarily so. Let's expound on that.
Yes. I like when you said titles. We, as all women, we are drawn to men that have power. That is very appealing to a woman, a man with power. So a man that's a prophet, a man that's an apostle, a pastor, and a bishop, those titles carry weight. Those mantles are appealing. I mean, you can find yourself looking up at the pulpit. Are you seeing God or are you seeing him? It's a
Yes.
test.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
a test. And
Mm-hmm.
he knows it. And during this journey, I'm starting to realize, even when I've had quite a few men buy this book, I know it says Single Christian Girl in the City,
But that's
but I've
good.
had a couple guys purchase it, and they felt convicted. They said, "Oh wow."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, man of God, why are you feeling convicted? He was like,
Mm-hmm.
I have to be honest. I
Mm-hmm.
feel convicted. And it made me kind of scratch my head, where it was like, wow, these are
Mm-hmm.
basic principles of God.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
Mm-hmm.
not being followed. And then now it makes sense why these blind spots are popping up in your life. Why it's so hard for you to shake things that shouldn't be holding you so tight, because lust is the root of it. And then the lust produces rejection, and then the rejection produces the poverty, and then it's just an ongoing cycle, all because somebody can't maintain a covenant.
Yes. And you said it so profoundly that we are drawn to power. We're drawn to, and in this season, all it takes is us saying, "Oh, I'm Minister so and so. Just come to watch service with me, and then we can go out a little bit." And then you end up somewhere where you really don't want to be. Because okay, single women, we have to be very careful. Everybody that says Lord, 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 don't mean it. Okay. Let's get that. Let's get that very, very clear. Okay. Don't mean it. Okay. Everybody says Lord, 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 don't mean it. And so we have to be very careful in this season, that we are not drawn to power, that we are not drawn to a title, that we are not drawn to a name. Remind yourself daily, regardless of who walks away, to your vows. And that's what you say in the end of chapter, I believe it's chapter 5, that remind yourself daily what you have vowed to God, not what you vowed to man, but what you vowed to God, which is very important. So I want to get to the process, because you talked a lot about the process, and the process. Let's talk a little bit. Let you talk a little bit about why you wrote about this chapter, the process, because indeed there was a process.
No one likes to be in the process. The process hurts.
Mm-hmm.
The process looks like a struggle. The
Mm-hmm.
process on the outside is where you're mocked. The process is when you realize who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when God starts really reflecting you to you. It's the process. And this is when he starts downloading your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
This is when he starts writing out his love letter to you. And it's important to embrace this process. We single women, we tend to rush it. I found myself rushing it. And when you rush the process, that's how you bump into a counterfeit. Because you're rushing.
So when you find yourself rushing it, is it also we find ourselves rushed because we're looking on the outside of what others have done or have accomplished or are married, and then we abort the process because we feel that God's process is too long? And excuse me. In my book, I talk a lot about God's timing is precise. Why do you think we abort the process?
Because we can't wait for the appointed time. We can't see. We remove our blinders. When you can't stay in the process, you've removed your blinders, which means now, because I use that scripture from Psalm 73, 2-3. But as for me, my feet had almost slipped. I had nearly lost my foothold, for I envied the arrogant when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. The process is a protection. The process is a cocoon. This is when God is developing you. This is when he's transforming you. This is when he's growing you. This is when your involvement takes place during this time. The only reason you exit before your time is when you start looking to the left and the right. When you start seeing what God may be doing for other people, or you don't know other people's story. I've had that problem where I saw a girl get married. She got married quickly, and they had a child, and I was envious. I was like, well, God, you did it for her. Why couldn't you do it for me? And she wasn't even practicing celibacy. Why is it? I became a murmurer and complainer, and God hates that. It's like, I need you to be content with where I have you. Because when I release you, when I unlock you, that's when it's your time. Every limelight doesn't look good on everybody. So you have to wait for your appointed time. Your appointed time is that specific light for you. And you don't want it to dim too soon, and you don't want to miss it. Because when you miss it, you got to go all the way back around. And that time is long.
Yeah, that time is long. So you said that in your book. You said the process can seem excruciating, especially when you have been waiting long and it appears everyone is receiving the ultimate goal of marriage. Your process different from your peers. Envying someone else results without understanding the pressure of their process can provoke you to settle. And I'm going to add my words, for less. Would you say yes to that?
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes. And we don't want first of all, we don't want to be processed with anything. Okay. Everything, like you said. And I love the millennials and I love the generations X coming after whatever generation, but they don't understand process and they don't understand weight. Okay. And this is why we have the issues that I believe we have in our society, because we have gotten to a place where weight is not a good place to be. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I call my generation the instant gratification. We're the microwave. We want it quick. We need it quick. God has us in a crock pot. We like, no. Remove me and put me in a microwave. I'm ready.
Yes. I like that. So now you get to love, and you talk about loving yourself in this process. I think it's so profound in this chapter because personally for me, even in my journey and what I'm doing right now, I love me. I enjoy me. I can go anywhere and love me. And in my celibacy journey right now, I can take myself out to dinner. I don't want to all the time, but if that's what God has me, that's where I'm at. I can go buy my own food. I can travel, with someone or without somebody, but I'm okay with that. And so when I tell people I'm okay, they say, well, you can't be okay. God doesn't want people to be alone. I never said I was okay being alone. I'm okay and content where I am right now. Okay. So let's elaborate on that, because you have to come to a place in celibacy that you got to love you, who you are.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yes. Absolutely, Apostle. Loving yourself, that once you learn to love the Father, you will now begin to love yourself the way He loves you. You will start viewing yourself that way. And that love, like you just said, I love going to the movies by myself. I love going out to eat, or I may go to a coffee shop and I bring my laptop or a good book, and I'm just drinking tea and I'm communing with God. I'm inviting with God, and I love that personal time. That independent time is so valuable. He downloads so much during that time, and then you get to even just. I love this the part where I get to know me.
Yeah,
just me. This is the final stage where you learn what bothers you.
Yes.
If you can't sit by yourself, how you gonna sit with somebody else? I love to sit in solitude and just and hear my own thoughts. Because after a while, when you got kids and a husband, it's gonna be everybody else's thoughts.
It's everybody else's.
I like to sit and think of my thoughts and what I'm thinking, and I like to dissect it and see, are these heavenly thoughts or these thoughts of my own? This is just such perfect time to love you, and I mean all of you, your mind, your body, your soul. To really get in tune with yourself. This is the time where you know who you are.
Yep. And I think that is so profound. I love going to the movies. I'm by myself. Okay. I'm not going to not go to a movie because I don't have nobody to go with me. I'm just not going to do that. I can enjoy a movie by myself. I get the same popcorn, the same drink, and go pay for the same thing and enjoy my popcorn and enjoy the movie. Okay. So let's get to impact impressive. You said here in day 8, many moons ago, I enjoy impressing people. Is that not why we abort the journey of celibacy? Because we're trying to impress everybody. And during this season, the whole thing about impressing, oh, look, I'm celibate, but now I got a man, or now I got a woman. Is that not an issue that creeps up in our spirit that causes us to abort this celibacy journey?
Absolutely. Actually, the test isn't during the journey. The test is when you're dating. Can you handle yourself while you're dating?
Come on, girl.
It's easy to be celibate when you're by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not dating, I could always claim I'm celibate. But it's when that man steps up. It's when that
Mm-hmm.
woman steps up. It's when you're by yourself. It's
Mm-hmm.
when y'all out. When
Mm-hmm.
y'all after when y'all sitting there watching TV, are you gonna Netflix and chill? Or are you gonna do a little bit more than Netflix and chill?
Mm-hmm.
Because now you've let your guards down, the boundaries are down, the feelings are moving, the hormones are flowing. Because for some reason, I mean, like you said, we can be candid. People think because you're Christian, you don't have these sexual desires and these sexual urges.
Oh my goodness, yes.
They are there.
Right.
They are there. This time you need to learn to control them.
That's it. And what I find, and I find that when you're in a relationship, and oh my goodness, we're out of time almost, that people don't even respect that, you're doing the celibacy journey. So, oh wow, I wish we could just continue, but listen, Prophetess Latoya Smith, we want to make sure that during this season that they're able to get this book. So you could again share with us how to get this book, your blog, and how to get in touch with you. It'll be great.
Absolutely, Apostle. You can definitely go to my blog and download the book at www.covenantlifestyle.com. It's available on Apple, Amazon, and for print. If you also would like a signed copy, you can definitely come worship with me at the Master's Touch Church, a place of worship and a place of strength, where the pastor is Pastor Deborah Campbell Smith. You can definitely come and get a signed book. I would love to fellowship with you. So please come and get that information on all my social media platforms, which is Latoya Deshawn, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I enjoy it. I love it. Come join me.
God bless you. Yes, we are so thankful. And listen, thank you. And we say again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year at this time. Listen, if you need to get in touch with me, call me at 1-866-200-9850. That's a toll-free number at 1-866-200-9850. I am Apostle Dr. Stinson, the Ruhr Channel with Dinner Table Conversations. Thank you for tuning in. If you do not have our mobile app, please download it at this time to catch us on the go from any Google or Apple store. We don't take it lightly that you come into our studios. God bless you, and we'll be live again on next week. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you. Have a blessed and prosperous year. God bless you.
Matthew House comes from the scripture, Matthew 25:35. I was a stranger and you took me in. I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was in prison and you came to visit me. That's how we developed Matthew House. 3 African American men who had the compassion and the love of people who are all veterans. My name is Dr. Sonia Ricketts Stinson, and I am the Executive Director and the CEO of Matthew House.
Right now we're in the common room, which is also named as the day room. This is where most of our clients eat during the daytime. This is where they can watch TV. This is where they can socialize.
Hi, my name is Kirsten Dickens. I work as a nurse practitioner, one of the providers at Heartland Alliance Health. So here, Heartland Alliance has a number of outreach sites around the city, so linkage agreements with certain sites where we take our typical outpatient clinic model and bring it in to specific outreach sites, Matthew House being one of them.
Or they can go and get their public entitlement benefits, or helping with a storage bid, supplying the blankets, or supplying the toiletries. Cleaning supplies is something we take for granted. Other things that we have to get done. There's building maintenance that we have to take care of. There's the supported service at the program staff who have to definitely be here from 12 hours a day in order that the individuals are not in the heat and they're not in the cold. So we need your help. We need your financial support.
We need volunteers. You can go to our website at MatthewHouseChicago.org. There's a donation button. But most of all, we need funds. We need all that we can get to fix this building because these people need a place to be.
And I'm glad I'm here, and I will continue to be here until I'm not here anymore.